Hello my Seiyo Knights, welcome back to another video where today we're going to be covering all of summer anime, and I am so excited to get into it because there's a lot of great shows that are coming out, returns of some classics as well, so we're going to get into all of that and more. This is also going to be a video that I'm going to post later on YouTube, so if you're seeing this on YouTube, that's why. So today we're just going to be going over the list. I have my anime list pulled up right here. So if you want to go follow me, I'm at Seoria. So please follow my Mal. You get to see my list as well. It's really cool. So let's get straight into it with our first show being Oshi no Ko, second season. And I must say, Oshi no Ko, when it first dropped, was one of the biggest breakouts for me that I've seen for an anime. A relatively unknown show, just insanely decimating its competition, despite it also being an idol anime. And say what you want about idol anime, I love idol anime. It doesn't really have a huge following, not compared to the big shonen anime of the season. But surprisingly, Oshi no Ko was competing against these shonen anime to full effect. And it was due to the great production quality, it was due to its interesting story, and the big revelation at the end of episode 1 that I thought just blew my mind. It was an amazing moment. So, they're of course making a second season. They dropped the first episode. I believe, as of streaming today, they did drop the second episode. I have not watched the second episode. So this is really just my impressions from what I've seen from the first episode. And I gotta say, it doesn't hook you because it's introducing this stage play that they're working on. And it takes a little bit to really get back into the interesting plot of Oshi no Ko, especially with its unique and very stylized way they do animation in this season in particular with paintbrushes. You don't really get that till later on, so you have to wait a little bit. But what I will say is it does look like it's going an interesting path. If you are a fan of Oshi no Ko, you have no problem continuing on here. It's just a little bit slow at the very start of the first episode. It isn't as hooking as I would say the first season, but that's okay. Just let it take its time. Let them cook. I have high hopes for this second season, especially because the first season was just so highly regarded and really put itself on the map. I'm 100% going to predict right now the second season is going to do the same thing. They just have to add some build up here and there, especially with this next arc. But I do like the posters, and it does look like they're giving their all for this season. So I have complete faith there. That's Oshi no Ko there. This next one is season 1 of Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russia. Really, really cute rom-com. And I gotta say, when you are fighting... Oh, hold on, there's an advertisement for Progressive. Let's close that. Perfect. When you are fighting to find good romance anime, because they're very hard to come by, either romance anime that starts off terribly, or romance anime that starts off good and ends really poorly, are usually the most common forms of romance anime out there. But with a select few, they start off great and end great. And we're actually getting more and more romance anime that fall under that category of being really, really good till the end. And I gotta say, with this one right here, Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian, already love the main couple. I think she's fantastic. I love how she hides her feelings in Russian because she'll like say things like, "I like you, dummy," but in Russian. But the dude knows Russian, so he has to hide the fact that he understands what he's saying. So it's a cute little back and forth. It kind of reminds me of Love is War, where they're both trying to play mind tricks on each other, trying to out each other. Like the dude wants to tell her that he knows, but he knows she'll be embarrassed, and she continues to say these things. It's really cute. I actually really like this. Gives me a lot of vibes of, in a very good way, the Dangers in My Heart, where it's very cute and is very wholesome and innocent. So this one, I already am going to call it right now, is going to be one of the best anime going into the season, and hopefully it ends well. I hope the first season ends well, or ends well enough where we get a second season and it continues on forward, because I love this premise, and just keep doing what you're doing, you know? You can't go wrong with good romance anime. Alright, this next one is Tower of God. Now, I can't really speak to the anime because I haven't seen it. I actually dropped it in halfway through season 1, not because I thought the anime was bad in quality. I just got bored of waiting weekly, so I just read the rest of the manhwa. And I love the manhwa. I think the manhwa is amazing. Its art is fantastic. So if we're getting more into Tower of God second season, we're getting more of learning about, of course, what's his name? Bam. Yeah, I was gonna say Ban. No, Bam, and what he has to deal with being sort of this leader of this revolution going on within this tower, as well as, you know, finding out where Kun and all of the other side characters fit in, with also, you know, everyone hating on Rachel and what she's doing and what she's up to. I've read so far ahead that I probably know exactly what's going to happen with the second season, but I highly recommend it. This is one of my favorite webtoons. Just because the art is amazing, the story gets more complex as it goes on, and the fight scenes get even more insane. So if you thought the first season was crazy, just wait. The best is yet to come. So highly recommend this if you love the first season. And if you're a fan of manhwa, or if you want something different from your traditional anime manga formula that you've been seeing with shonen and romance and all these isekai that are dropping, maybe check out manhwa, because that's a little bit of a breath of fresh air, because it has a different, manhwa are very different with their storytelling than manga, because they're Korean instead of Japanese, and I think that's amazing. You know, two cakes, why can't we enjoy them both? So definitely check this one out if you are interested in that. Okay, peak anime. I'm absolutely excited. We're getting into the 100-year quest. I did a reaction to it and a full video, so you can check those out. But Fairy Tail is back. It's back. It's back. It's back. Okay. I have to talk about this. So I read a couple of the chapters of the manga, so I'm a little bit ahead of where the anime is now. But in the next 2 episodes, I will be completely caught up, or the anime will be completely caught up to where I've read, so it'll be completely new. What I will say, this has one of my all-time favorite hooks for a continuation of, like, say, like a Shippuden type. After the classic story, there's more story to go. Yeah, Fairy Tail. You get more Fairy Tail. Love the characters. You get a couple new characters sprinkled in. And yeah, I love Fairy Tail to death. I've already explained my reasons. It's very personal to me. It's the only 10 out of 10 show on my anime list too, which holds that honor because it is just that amazing. So, Fairy Tail, more of that. Love it. There's an amazing arc going forward in this story. Imagine, like, you know, final boss material times 7. That's what they're setting up here, and it's pretty sick, not gonna lie. I freaking love it. Love it. Okay, if you want to hear my thoughts and more, me gushing more about Fairy Tail, watch those 2 videos. I need to move on, or else this video is gonna be over 3 hours, because 2 hours of it is just gonna be Fairy Tail talk. Okay. Ooh, okay, yes. This other one is also a huge surprise and out of left field for Warner Brothers and DC. You know, the studio behind all your favorite superheroes like Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. They're making an isekai all of a sudden, and it's about the Suicide Squad. You know, this is one of those shows that's like such a huge gamble with its premise and concept, and you don't know if people are gonna watch, because you have 2 different audiences that are 2 completely different like circles. Like, you have the nerds, the superhero fans, you know, who just watch the movies, and then you have all the anime fans. So what if you put those 2 together, the normies and the weebs, and you mash them together? And surprisingly, it works. And as a fan of both, like, I'm one of the rare breeds. I love superheroes and I love anime. This is just heaven for me. I love the premise. I love how it isn't simple. It is actually trust the audience to sort of follow along, despite it being very complicated at the start, because they throw a lot at you. There's a lot that they expect you to, like, sort of just accept. Like, oh yeah, the Joker exists, Harley Quinn exists. But once you get into, like, the meat and the actual story and what they're actually planning on doing, then things get interesting. And I love the character designs. Clayface has probably one of my favorite character designs, because he reminds me of, like, people say Michael Jackson or Muzan from Demon Slayer, but the fact that he's voiced by like one of the goats, in terms of VAs, especially Peacemaker, who's basically the VA for Dio in JoJo's. That's crazy to me. And I don't know. There's so many things to love about this. My favorite part is actually the ending. Like, I love the opening sequence. The opening sequence is amazing. But the ending, sung by Mori, the VTuber, it's just insane to me that we have a VTuber singing the ending song for this show, and it's Amanda Waller breaking it down, which is like the funniest thing to me. But animation, honestly, people are like, oh, it has bad animation. I don't think it has bad animation. I think it has a very unique art style that makes it look very different from what we're used to with animation. I think it has really good animation. It's just you have to get used to the style. That's, I think, where I've seen some criticisms I think are unfounded. So, but overall, I think it's crazy good. Love the action here. All the Suicide Squad members that they've chosen are just amazing. Like, they even have Rick Flag in here, which is really funny, and his design's actually very unique for this as well. So, very anime. So, it's like a perfect hybrid between where anime meets superheroes. And they did also say, I did hear this, DC is also planning on doing more anime projects because they did see success with Batman Ninja. So we're going to get Batman Ninja, the Yakuza League. We're getting this. And maybe a couple more anime series in the work. And I'm all for it. 2 cakes. The more the merrier. Anyways. This one. Now, if this isn't a SHIT post, if I've seen it or not. Basically, my dear friend Nokotan went viral before the show even released because of its opening. And it wasn't even the opening, it was like a piece of the opening that was in the PV or the trailer before the show dropped, like the pre-visual. And the opening is crazy. It's like noko 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 with a like insane dance that went viral, and it's really funny. And it's crazy, a show that prides itself at being like literally absurd, like JoJo. Well, that's what the show is. It's basically just insanity, and it's a little bit of comedy here, or actually no, the genre is comedy, so it is a comedy first and foremost. But there's also, elements of like a little bit sprinkles into horror, shock, anything that you love that's very tropey or very like JoJo inspired jokes with like the faces or One Punch Man. You get all of that in this show, and I think it's really funny. The only criticism I will say, it's one of those shows though, where you have to watch a good amount of anime to really appreciate all the jokes. Like, you will have fun with this, but I feel like it's better I think it's better for people who have watched a lot of anime to laugh at these jokes because you are already familiar with these common tropes, to appreciate them more than, say, you're watching, this is like one of the few anime you watch. You're not going to get as much because it's very niche, and it's like for a very particular subset of fans there. That's just how I feel. But I do think the absurdness will actually get a lot of people watching, and people are going to love this. So, I think this is also a great one. Okay, so next one we have Days with My Stepsister. Okay, I have a confession to make with this one. I said that this one was gonna be peak, and I told this to my friend because I thought that this was gonna be, and mind you, I didn't know, this was gonna be a show about, a brother and sister who become step-siblings after both their parents remarry. And I thought what the premise was going to be is that they were going to learn to grow closer to each other, solve each other's flaws, and then with them solving each other's flaws, they'd get married to people like their classmates. And then they'd be like, oh, we feel like an actual family. After reading the description and after watching episode 2, that is no longer the case. This is a romance between 2 step-siblings. So, as much as I wanted to praise this show, because this show has a lot of production quality behind it. Like, The animation's actually pretty good. The music is pretty good, and it does feel like one of the higher quality anime that you would watch. I didn't realize this show had such a nefarious plot to it. So be warned, this is like I'm looking at, I'll just summarize what this says. This is a story that one may lead to love, and I'll leave it at that. So I mean, if you want to turn off your brain and just ignore the fact that they're related by law now, I guess you can enjoy it. I'll maybe watch it till the end just out of respect for the, amount of work that was put into this, because it does seem like the animation is top tier. And maybe there's a little bit of hope that it doesn't turn out the way that I think and they're actually going to get married to other people instead of each other, but we'll see. This just doesn't give me hope. Oh my goodness. Anyways. Alright, so we did that one. Okay, this one is also interesting. So we're going to the two weird romance shows of the season. So this one is called Pseudo Harem. So it's basically about this girl who is a first year, and she wants to join the drama club. And so she runs into this guy who's a second year, who's a part of the drama club, and she's like, oh, can you help me join? And basically that's her induction into this club, and the whole show is literally about this main girl who can play different roles and different characters, acting like dozens of girls or types of girls or whatever around this dude, and pretending like he has a harem because he's always wanted a harem. And okay, for me personally, I don't vibe with I don't vibe with polygamy. I'll just say that. I don't vibe with what they're trying to set up here, especially with the romance, because it's a monogamous relationship, but the way they're playing it up, it's just very awkward and weird. I will say the voice actress for Rin, Sayori right here, Hayami, kills it. Her performance, the fact that she has to play dozens of different characters while also playing the same person, she does an amazing job. And I know people are gonna love this. If you're a fan of just what this show gives, no hate to you, you do you. But for me personally, I wasn't really that big of a fan. I may stop. I tried trudging through the first episode. I don't know if I'm going to even get to the second episode, but yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't vibe with this as much as some of the other romance shows of the season. I'd rather give my time to that, so. All right, this next one, Our Last Crusade, or Rise of a New World's second season. I'm gonna be honest here, I tried watching the first season, and for whatever reason, I kept falling asleep. And this is one of the rare fantasy shows that really puts me to sleep. It takes a lot. So I'm trying to get my way through the first season, so I don't know anything about the second season. But if you've seen it, if you watch this show, let me know in the comments below. How do you feel about it? Do you think I should give this a chance? Or should I just relegate it to something else or watch something else? Yeah. All right. Ooh, this one. Okay, this one is very different from what I was expecting from the Isekai this season. So, No Longer Allowed in Another World seems like a comedy. And it is. It is a comedy. But the type of comedy is much more pessimistic and much more morbid than I was anticipating going in. So it kind of blindsided me. I was like, whoa, okay, what are we doing here? So basically it starts off with this guy, and I kid you not, this is the first episode. It's the title. It's Double Suicide. He and his lover tie a red string around their wrists, and they basically hold each other's hands, and they were going to jump into the freezing river and commit double suicide. And this dude is a poet, or an author / poet, and he isn't. And if you want to know the comparison here, if you watch Bungo Stray Dogs, which if you're a fan of my channel, you know I did a couple videos on Bungo, this is also inspired by Osamu Dazai. So this is where the comparison is. That's why they're, oh yeah, there's someone who's suicidal. Yeah, you compare, famous Japanese writers. Oh yeah, that's him. So the main character here is inspired by him, just like Dazai in Bungo. So he wants to take his own life and do a double suicide with his lover. But right before they jump into the river, a truck hits them. And what's funny is when he gets reincarnated into this fantasy world, he learns that this truck has a name. It's like the other world. It's like the other worlder truck or something like that. And the fact that Truck-kun has been given an official name in an anime for the first time ever is just, I don't know. I'm like, this is a long time coming, and he finally earned he's deserved the attention and recognition that he's been wanting for years. So good job, Truck-kun, at least for this show. But anyways, moving on. So what happens is there's this elf priestess that welcomes him into this world, says, oh, traditional isekai, like, oh, you have this responsibility now as this world's hero, you have to save everyone. And he immediately tries to take his own life once again by eating pills. And so she heals him, and she's like, don't do that, we need you. And he's like, I want to go, please let me die. But as the series continues, or as the episode continues, he learns that, oh yeah, the girl I was holding hands with also got hit by this truck. So she's probably somewhere in this fantasy world. So we have to find her. And so it ends with him basically trying to seek out his lover in his past life. Despite, when he finds her, they're both going to do double suicide again to escape the fantasy world. So very morbid. I know a lot of people are going to be turned off by this just because it's just an insane premise. But what I will say is I do like the characters that they're establishing here. I do like how he may like add some, like, he's really turning the isekai formula on its head. And I think that's what we need now, especially because we're getting more and more generic trash, which I consume a lot of. Don't get me wrong, I love the trash. But to have that subversion here, and it's very, like what I said, right? It's very dark. It is very morbid humor here. I know a lot of people aren't going to be a fan of this, but for those who are going to join me in this journey, I'm going to watch this till the end because I have hope that this is going to turn out to be very interesting, especially with what they set up. So let's see where this goes. Let's see if there's any huge developments with this fantasy world. I'm definitely going to give this one a chance. All right. This next, okay. Now, if there is one fantasy show this season that I think is just above and beyond Mushoku Tensei levels of quality, look no further than Wistoria, Wand and Sword, which also has an underlying theme of romance, or not theme, a genre of romance. So this is definitely fantasy. It's about this person who, Will Surfort. I have the names right here. Will Surfort. And his dream is he wants to become the strongest wizard in this fantasy world. So classic anime, classic shonen, Pirate King, Hokage, think big, right? And in his journey to become that, he realizes he has a huge hurdle. He can't use magic. But where he can't use magic, he is super buff, he's ripped, he knows how to fight with swords. So the fact that this is basically, imagine Mashal, if you've seen Mashal before. Imagine Mashal where he doesn't have any magic while everyone else has magic spells and are super powerful. But he's able to quell that with his sword skills. And with his sword skills, he basically makes a name for himself. And I already love the first episode. Great hook. Excited for what happened. Oops, sorry. I keep hitting my mic. Whoopsies. I'm very excited to see where they go from here in terms of season, or in terms of the rest of the season, because it has such an interesting story here. Love the character. I think Will is great. I love the professor that helps him too. And definitely give this one a chance. If I have a couple shows like on the top of my list for this season I have high hopes for, this is going to be one of them. Wistoria, Wand and Sword, I would highly recommend anyone who loves fantasy to check it out. Now, NieR Automata Part 2, haven't seen the first season, so I'm not going to say much. I've heard pretty good things about the anime, though, and I know the games are highly acclaimed, so yeah, that's all I'm going to say there. Okay, so this one. This one is called 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. This one is like Pseudo Harem, which is, it's a very strange romance show because so it's basically, the best way I can describe it is Dress Up Darling 2.0, but with like more ecchi elements here. And I'm pretty sure in the manga too, they have like partial to full-blown nudity at times based on what people have been telling me on Twitter. So yeah, I've been told that this show is very toned down, so it doesn't have as much fan service. But what I will say is this is a cosplay one, so of course they're gonna get undressed and whatever. But the main guy is a little bit strange because he's in charge of this manga club, and he doesn't like 3D women, aka real women. He only likes 2D women, or the fictional women in anime. And oh my god, it's just like incel behavior right there. But anyways, even though the dude's weird, this girl comes in and basically shatters his worldview. Imagine a real girl that you actually like and is like likable, shattering your worldview. Like, that's crazy. But what happens is it's called 2.5 because it's between the boundaries of 2D and 3D, where she cosplays as a 2D girl that he really likes, and so he starts falling for her, and then for some reason the girl falls for him. You know, it's like, you know, traditional, you know, ecchi kind of out there. So I mean, if you're a fan of that, that's great. I just don't really like sort of what they set up here with the main guy. I know a lot of people do and a lot of people don't, so this is just a heads up. This is very, like, look, it says here, it's modeling the fetishy stuff. Like, the girl literally is like, oh yeah, I want to dress up like all the, you know, all the revealing clothes that girls do. And I'm not saying that no girls do that. Like, definitely there's girls out there who like to cosplay that. But you know what type of show this is. You know who this is made for. That's what I'm trying to say here. I'm not trying to, like, shame on you or whatever, but I'm just letting you know this is how it is. I'm going to try and give it a chance. But honestly, this show actually runs into a problem with me where the type of ecchi that relies on fan service alone actually becomes boring after a while. So I hope it doesn't become like that, because it's competing against a lot of good romance anime this season. So it may actually fall under the rug for me, if it continues to just rely on the ecchi and not really add anything of substance. I think that's what I'm gonna go with. Okay, this next one too, so the production quality doesn't look like it's the best, but it's by no means bad. So I'm definitely going to give this one a chance, especially because I do love the opening song. If you have a good opening song, you're going to have a pretty good chance of me staying on board. So it's called Failure Frame. I know it's a long title because it's one of those shows, but I'm just going to refer to it as Failure Frame. So it's one of those shows where this whole class gets, you know, isekai'd after a bus trip, and this goddess is like, you guys have a mission to become the heroes of this world. So we're going to have you scan in and we're going to rank you, and you could be S class or D class. And our main hero here, of course, he's going to get, you know, E class. So he gets banished by the end of episode 1. And so what happens is he gets basically tossed to the side, and the show, I think, is setting up this sort of revenge against the goddess who, you know, kicked him out, as well as his classmates. And of course, some of the classmates are just pure evil, right? Who hate his guts, are all the powerful ones. So it's about him getting revenge, especially when, you know, even though he's E rank, he has some of the strongest abilities in the show because of some technicality or whatever. So I'm already excited to see where this goes from here. It definitely hooks my interest. I want to see the classmates who weren't really mean to him maybe team up with him, because I do love seeing, you know, him getting revenge against those who were mean against him at the start. But I also want to see the classmates who were kind of like indifferent or really supported him also get their reward for helping back him, So we're going to see how this goes. I have relatively high hopes for this, that it's going to continue this way. As long as it maintains the quality it set up in episode 1, I will be 100% fine with it. All right. This next one too, I feel the same way. The strongest magician in the Demon Lord's army was human. The interesting premise here is there's this guy who is part of this Demon Lord's army, and instead of, killing all the humans when you win a battle, he just captures them all. And they're all like, oh, why did you capture them? Why didn't you just kill them? And he explains, we still need the town to function. We can actually get benefits for, letting all the townspeople live and actually, live under us, and we'll rule over them. And the truth is that he's actually a human. That's why he's sparing all these humans and why he's trying to be humane, because he doesn't want to lose that. But where the interesting hook comes in is that he was raised by the previous Demon Lord General. And that was his father, so he just assumed his position. So there's interesting things going on here with, hiding who he is while also maintaining his humanity. There's a little bit of conflict going on with, someone trying to overthrow the current Demon Lord because they're not killing enough humans. And so there's a couple episodes out. I just watched the recent one, and it's going in an interesting route. I will say the main, I guess, heroine here, if she's going to be, she's in the front cover of this right here. The maid, she is very one note. She's very two-dimensional. She's one of those anime characters who's very, she's literally a plank. You could replace her with anyone, because she's, oh, look at me. She's the submissive type. So if you, know that going in and kind of ignore, some of the other characters have more interesting depth to them. But at times it also strays into it being standard. So I'm going to watch this till the end. It does have some interesting things here and there, and I want to see how he resolves this issue, and if his identity is going to be revealed as a human, Okay, this one I haven't seen yet. How to Become Ordinary. I believe this is a mystery. Okay, I have not seen this yet. I won't say too much, but it looks okay. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, this one. I Parry Everything. Now, this one has great quality behind it, great animation. It also falls under a lot of the fantasy, anime shows that have a very specific art style to them. This is just one of them. But I don't mean that to take it away, just something to note. I Parry Everything. It does have a great first episode. I do like this huge fight that happens at the end with a giant minotaur. And I like the main character. I think he's probably one of my favorites. The other shows, one of them's a revenge one that I talked about earlier, that you didn't really get a feel for who he is as a person. In I Parry Everything, you learn about this guy because you follow him since he's been a child. And so you get to learn what he's about, his tragic backstory, and his, motivation for wanting to become an adventurer. And within that, I think it's very wholesome. It's a delight to see this character grow, and it reminds me of a lot of great isekai that really focus, or fantasy shows that revolve around just, wholesome dudes just trying their best to be amazing and help the people around them. So overall, not bad. I think this one's also a fairly good show to check out. All right. This one, same thing. Dude isn't bad. The Ossan newbie adventurer, trained to death by the most powerful party, became invincible. So long title once again, but definitely give this one a shot too, because this is very much more comedic than a lot of the other shows here for the fantasy shows. But I love the main guy here. He's just very humble. He actually downplays himself a lot. He actually suffers from imposter syndrome just because he's in his 30s and people were telling him that, he was working for the guild. He wasn't even an adventurer. So the fact that, they were downplaying him, saying, oh, you aren't special, but then he gets trained by the most powerful party, as, seen here in the title, and then becomes one of the strongest people ever. Yet he still downplays himself because of that imposter syndrome. But yeah, no, I love the main guy. I think the action here is pretty cool. People you don't like getting what they have coming to them. You know, great stuff all around. So this one I would check out too. This one's really fun. This one I haven't seen. I've heard interesting things about it. Very cursed things on Twitter too. The Elusive Samurai. So it's apparently about an 8-year-old, and I've heard good things about it though. It's a time period too. It's the Nanboku-cho period of Japanese history. So any period piece, and it looks interesting with its art style. So yeah, maybe check this one out too. Ooh, okay. Yes. We got a second season of the Cafe Terrace and its goddesses. I didn't know it was coming. I forgot that, you know, season 2 was so soon. But we got season 2. And I love the first season. I love how they set up this premise. It seems like this is going to be quintessential quintuplets done right if it ends well. But basically there's 5 heroines here who live in this cafe. And there's this dude who returns to the cafe because it was his grandmother's. And after his grandmother's passing, he takes over. And he learns that there were actually 5 live-in workers that are all hit around his age. And so the premise is that they're trying to start up this cafe and trying to save it. And the second season is just continuing that, but instead you have more interesting relationships with, you know, the girls start to fall for him. Who is he going to end up with? Because they hint at the end of the first season that he only ends up with one of them. So I'm interested to see who he wins. And we're getting back into ship wars. And I was there in the Reddit pages back in the day with quintessential quintuplets with the manga. And how we were all rooting for a certain girl to win. And I was backing Miku. I wanted Miku to win in quintessential quintuplets. And that did not happen. And I was devastated. Luckily here we may get a redemption. I am 100% certain that, you know, this may end up being one of my favorite romances. A romance anime, depending on how it ends. And I'm definitely rooting for the green hair girl here, Ono, the one right here. That's who I'm rooting for to win. She's my top pick for my ship with Hayato. But yeah, no, I hope this gets a season 3 too, because I'm pretty sure, especially with manga like this, it takes a little bit. So I hope this keeps up the quality. We get more of what we love. That first episode back in season 2 definitely made me feel great that this is going to be a great season too. But yeah, definitely check this one out if you haven't seen it. And if you have seen the first season, watch season 2 because it's out right now. Okay. Have not seen this one. This is Senpai is Otokonoko. And from what I have basically been told, whoops, let's do that. I'm going to put this to the side really quickly. So I know what an Otonoko is. Let me just pull up the official title. So it's Otonoko, male daughter or male girl, also pronounced as Otoko no Musume, is a Japanese term for men who have culturally feminine gender expression. Okay, so this includes, among others, males with feminine appearances or those cross-dressing. So this is actually, I believe, a yuri. So I think it's definitely a romance, so that's cool. But it is a cross-dressing boy. So that's right here. That's our main character. And this is our also is it male or some? I was gonna say heroine. No, our also second lead right here. But it is romance. So this is I think going to be a yuri, or not yuri, BL. Sorry, I don't know why I say yuri. Yuri's for girls. It's a BL, so boys love, and I'm all for it. You know, I love to see this relationship grow. I haven't seen the first episode yet. I've actually just watched like the first few seconds because it's on my list. I just got busy with something, so I had to stop. But I'm just interested to see where it goes here. It seems like it's a BL, so hey, I mean, at least it's gonna be a better romance anime than some of the others that we've talked about. So, all right, Atri, my dear moment. I'm gonna be honest, haven't seen anything about this. It says NA, so I don't think it's even out yet. So we'll skip that for now. The magical girl and the evil lieutenant used to be arch enemies. This is on my list. Have not seen it yet. I'm going to watch it, but this is a comedy, fantasy, romance. Looks interesting, so we'll see where this goes from here. Okay, this one Okay, so this one, why does nobody remember me in this world? Okay, I haven't seen this one either. It seems like this one is an action fantasy sci-fi. In a time when the great war between rival races for supremacy on Earth ended with humanity's victory, led by the hero Sid, the world suddenly gets overrun right before the eyes of a boy named Kai. In this rewritten world, Kai witnesses humanity's defeat in a war as a result of Sid's absence, where dragons and demons now rule the land, and Kai himself has become forgotten in existence to all humans. However, encountering a mysterious girl, Rin, Kai is resolved to break free from this rewritten fate. In a world without a hero, he inherits the sword and martial arts skills and challenges. Ooh, this is interesting. Unknown episodes has not aired yet. Oh, July 13th. Okay, so we have a couple of days until then. But yeah, no, sounds interesting. Hopefully, it's good. I'll definitely check it out, at least the first episode, and let you know what you guys think in my season review. This one's on my list. This is My Wife Has No Emotion. This is the equivalent to Plastic Memories, if you know this one too, where it's a guy who falls in love with an android. Yeah, enough said. It's just a romance. All right. Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines. So Kazuhiko Nukumizu, self-proclaimed background character, accidentally witnessed his popular classmate Anna Yanami being rejected by her childhood friend. Since then, he has become in several loser heroines. Okay, so it's a comedy and romance. Alright, we're gonna see how this plays out. Hasn't aired yet, so we'll see. Let's see, this next one. Dahlia and Bloom, crafting a fresh start with magical tools. I did see this one. This is an Isekai, another one. Yeah, someone who's devoting herself to the craft. So she basically, it seems like she's going to be sort of like a merchant slash trade. So it's gonna be one of those Isekai. So I'll give this one a shot. It's already out. I just have to watch it. So we'll definitely check that one out too. It's a slice of life too. Ooh, probably one of the only slice of lives of this season. That's cool. And right when I say that too, we have another slice of life. A journey through another world, raising kids while adventuring. A god was suddenly okay, I'm not going to say that in front of... Apparently he was killed by mistake. However, he can't be reborn again. However, according to the god, transferred into a dangerous forest where he finds a pair of children. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. It's a slice of life. Maybe check it out. I don't know. We'll see. Nobody's way up to an exploration hero. This is another fantasy action adventure. Oh, so it's not an isekai. Okay, meet Kaito Takagi, your typical high schooler with a low profile. He spends his days exploring dungeons in Japan. Wait, what? Hunting slimes for extra cash. On the side, he quietly admires his childhood friend, the popular girl in class. One day, a rare golden slime shows up, and after Kaito defeats it, he finds a super valuable item. A card that can summon mythical beings. He decides to use it and summons a stunning warrior maiden. Now Kaito has a chance to rise above the ordinary explorer life. A modern day fantasy story with battles? What? So what is this? Is this a hybrid between so it's not a reverse isekai, is it? Because reverse isekai implies a fantasy character gets reincarnated into the real world. But this isn't I guess that's the perfect way to describe it. It's a modern fantasy story. So a fantasy story set in modern day. Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna check this one out. And Nobody's Way Up to Exploration Hero. That sounds interesting. Okay. Ooh, this VTuber one has been gaining traction. VTuber Legend. How I went viral after forgetting to turn off my stream. As someone who's a streamer, I get it. I get it. Sometimes I do the same thing. Okay. 20-year-old former wage slave Yuki Tanaka now works among her idols, streamers of Live On, one of Japan's top VTuber companies. As the gorgeous, polite Awayuki Kokorone, sorry. She delivers one of the most ladylike content. Unfortunately, her subscriber count and savings are at rock bottom. One evening, after Yuki thinks she's ended her stream, she cracks a few cold ones and more than a few crude jokes while watching Live On's video archives. But her viewers hear it all, and clips of her body drunken commentary go viral overnight. Yuki thinks her career is over until her manager reveals that everyone on Live On has been waiting for her to snap all along and gives her free reign to drink on stream. Now free of feigned purity, she jumps right into her new rowdy drunk character and is welcomed into the fold by her fellow Live On VTubers, who turn out to be just as crazy as she is. With her views and finances skyrocketing, Yuki's work, and for the first time in her life, is actually fun. That's awesome. I'm gonna definitely check this one out. That's a crazy premise. And honestly, VTubers, there's a lot that make crude jokes like that, and they're the biggest. So don't say this is unrealistic. This 100% happens in real life. IRL. Alright, Boys Love. Ooh, yes, this is our other Boys Love. This is Twilight Out of Focus. Haven't seen anything about this. When did it start? July 4th. Okay, so there's going to be 2 episodes. Second episode is dropping tomorrow, so I'm going to try and catch up and watch that. I have seen this one. Love is Indivisible by Twins. Now, this one's interesting because it's from the perspective of the twins, not the guy that they're crushing on. And the guy that they're crushing on seems like an alright dude. Like, he's not like your traditional harem protagonist. He actually has like substance to him. He's super smart. He's kind. There's a reason why girls fall for him. And it's because he has likable qualities, like, you know, a normal guy. So this is actually the first time I've seen a romance anime that's been more along the realistic lines of, like, you know, like an actual romance in Western media. So this is about these girls who fall in love with this guy, and without spoiling too much, the first episode's about this older sister who falls in love with him, and she ends up breaking up with him because she learns that her younger sister, or twin sister, also loves him. And the younger sister, basically this time was basically coping with the fact that her older sister is in a relationship with the dude that she's also been crushing on. So where the twist comes in is, so the first half of the episode is actually from the perspective of the older sister. Well, the the latter half of the episode is actually from the perspective of the younger sister. So I want to see more of this because I think it's very interesting, where you get this back and forth between these girls, and you get, oh, okay, the older sister fell in love and then broke up, and then you're getting the perspective of the younger sister. I want the second episode to go into the younger sister's perspective of what she does from there, and then also get that older sister's perspective near the end. Like, I want to see that flip-flop because that is such an interesting way of telling a story from 2 different perspectives of twin sisters, mind you. And it's very unique for anime, so definitely check this one out because this one is, I have high hopes for this one. This one's up there on my top shows, I think, that have like really good chance of sticking out. And talking about sticking out here, Plus Size Elf was a show that I didn't think was gonna be an ecchi. Mind you, fan service, yes, but full-blown ecchi and nudity, no. And it does have that. This is gonna make a certain group of people very, very happy, and then the rest of us, leaving the rest of us confused. Yeah, see, look. Rating, R+, mild nudity. Yes, it does have mild nudity. Thanks for warning me before I watched the show. What I will say, probably watch this, you know, like maybe close or, you know, lock the door. Don't let anyone walk in while, like, watching this show. Just as a heads up. But yeah, this is a memed on show a lot. People have been talking about this a lot. But plus size elf, watch it if you want to, like, laugh, I guess, or if you like that type of stuff. I'm gonna watch it till the end because I love fantasy. This counts as a fantasy show because it's a plus sized elf, and I want to see if they bring in any fantasy elements. Yeah, that's why I'm watching it. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Okay, quality assurance in another world. Did see this, have not watched it, but we can read the synopsis. Nicola is just a village girl working at an inn until the day dragons invade, and she meets Haga, a scholar of everything around him. He's a part of an elite society called Seeker, created to address a series of maladies plaguing their usual peaceful world. But both Nicola and Haga have secrets that they hide, ones that will change with each other's very existence. Interesting here. The art style is the thing that's sticking out to me the most as most unique. I'll maybe give this a chance if I have time. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. Delico's Nursery. It has not released yet, despite it. Oh, okay, so it's airing in August, so it's not going to be till later. Okay, so Dali Delico is an aristocrat from the prestigious Delico family, an elite member of the Blood Pact Council who has a promising future. He is ordered to carry out a certain mission from the Blood Pact Council, the highest governing body of vampires, but Dali flatly refuses. When Gerald, Dino, and Henrique, who are frustrated fellow members of the Diet, go to try and persuade Dali, they find Dali cradling a young child himself. Meanwhile, a mysterious series of murders targeting vampires occur in the streets. There seems to be some sort of past connection between Dali and the antisocial organization Pendulum, which is believed to be the mastermind. With all our blood and pride, let's show that we can achieve both duty and child rearing. A tale of noblesse obliged childcare struggles by vampire aristocrats. Okay, so that's interesting. Themes are childcare, vampire, genre fantasy. Yeah, that's interesting. That is a premise, all right. Yeah. We'll see. Bye Bye Earth. Okay, this one has not aired yet as well. This is dropping in 2 days. In a world of anthropomorphic animals, Belle Lablack was born as the only human being. Having no fangs, fur, or scales, she was called Faceless, and she lived a lonely life with no one else she could identify with. I want to be a part of this world. With such a longing in her heart, she decides to set out on a journey to find her roots, carrying the Runding, a great sword as tall as she is. She doesn't know how many adversaries await her along the way. Ooh, interesting. This one's definitely going to be a fantasy, action adventure, anthropomorphic. Yep, I said it right this time. And it's, yeah, I don't know. That seems interesting. We'll see how it turns out. Dungeon, okay. Let's see this one. Dungeon People. An unexplored dungeon filled with monsters and traps. An expert thief searching for her lost father. When Clay delves into the dungeon deeper than any adventurer has ever gone, she is offered a job by the dungeon's caretaker. Now, instead of exploring, Clay must learn how to interview new monsters, set traps, and position slimes around the dungeon. Will this new career path bring her any closer to finding her father? Interesting. So this seems like it's a unique spin on fantasy, and it's a comedy and an adventure. So we'll see how this turns out too. I don't really have any things to say on these shows that, are still haven't aired yet. I'm just gonna say right here too, NieR cheer for you. It's currently airing, have not seen it, so it's a sports anime. It looks like it's just a cheer squad, so it's cheerleading. So that's cool. Yeah, we'll just quickly go through these next ones. Now this one, Mayonaka Punch. It's on my list. So this is also, I think, a VTuber. It's a comedy supernatural. So meet Masaki, the now former member of the popular YouTuber group Harikiri Sisters. After a career setback, aka getting fired unexpectedly via a live stream, she joins forces with Live, a partner with superhuman abilities. Together, they aim to create sensational content and reach 1 million subscribers. Will they reach content dreams or hit the block button? Okay, this is literally just so it's the streamer, but instead of it being streamer, like the last one we talked about, the VTuber, that's Twitch. This is the YouTube show of the season. They're gonna become big on YouTube, or sorry, NewTube. That's funny. Shy second season. I've seen the first season. I'm still trying to get through it, but I like Shy. Imagine a light-hearted My Hero Academia that doesn't lose its quality. This is Shy. So definitely check out Shy if you are interested. Also, like, my favorite character definitely is the Russian chick. The Russian hero. I think she's awesome. This one is Fate of the Majority. Now, I have seen this one. There's 2 episodes that dropped. It is very complicated. I think 5.34, I think that's a little bit too low. I think people are overhating this. I think you should give this one a chance. I think this show is just warming up. You have to see how this plays out. There are certain rules. It's a little bit complicated. It's one of those killing game shows, but the way they do it is very, it's psychological. That's the best way to describe it. Psychological, suspense, drama, action for the genres. Yeah, 100% agree here. So basically, they're playing a killing game. The game is one rule: the majority dies. Of course, there's like secret benefits to playing this game. If you find these what they call it's not priorities, it's something else. But basically, if you find these slips of paper, they give you special abilities. And yeah, it's interesting. I think people are overhating this. I think so far it's been pretty good for what it is. It's like one of the lower quality shows. You can definitely tell, but it's not bad by any means. I think people are being too harsh here. Okay, I haven't seen the first season whatsoever. So, Sengoku Yoko. If you have seen it, let me know what you guys think. In the comments. I'm literally blind. It's historical mythology. It's shonen, so that's something. Okay, this next one. Have not seen. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. Banished from Overrun with Demons. Okay, so this is mythology, and this is PA Works. It's action and fantasy. Oh, and it's based off a game. Looks interesting with its art style too, and it looks 3D. Do I see elements of 3D here? We'll see. Ramen Akaneko. Ramen shop run only by cats. That's actually kind of funny. It's a comedy. Okay. Oh, so it's like just a show about cats running a shop with like a human character. That's really funny. Okay, so 12 episodes. It's airing, it dropped, so the second episode's dropping. Probably won't get to this, but it's there if you want to watch this. Grendizer U. Okay, Grendizer U. Duke Fleet is a survivor of the Flea planet who escaped from Earth. Dr. Uman, adoptive son. So this one is action sci-fi. It's a mecha. Oh, it's a mecha. Okay. Hey, if you like more mecha anime, this is another show then. Zero Saiji Start Dash Monogatari. Lilia, the newborn daughter of the Marquis, has the memories of her previous life. Will the cheat-like gamer knowledge she aims to become the strongest girl in this other world? So it's an isekai. Oh, okay. It's an isekai. None. Ooh, what the heck? Why is there none over here? Okay, whatever. Yeah. So none. It's a fantasy isekai. We'll see how this plays out. I've been seeing this one a lot though. Kinu Kuman, Perfect Origin Arc. This guy I've been seeing all over. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is, this is production IG. Okay. It's comedy and sports. Ooh. Okay. So it's a fighting anime. Cool. All right. So maybe watch this when it drops. It's gonna drop July 7th. Wait. Oh, preview July 7th. It's not airing until July 14th, so in 4 days. Yeah. This one I think is going to get a lot of people talking about it. Its art style is familiar. I think I know who did the mangaka here. There's a prequel TV show. There's a prequel series. There's a sequel series. Looks like is it TV or manga? Oh, there's a manga here. So, maybe this is just, this is a continuation of a franchise that I just didn't know about. Oh, cool. So if you're a fan of this franchise, definitely check it out. It's a perfect origin arc, so maybe if you're a fan or you want to get into this series, maybe watch this one because it's an origin arc. Card Fight Vanguard Divina Season 2. I know about Card Fight, haven't seen it, but second season, there for all you fans. Yami Shibai 13th season of this show. Don't know anything about this. It's Japanese ghost stories, it says. So Japanese ghost stories. Duration unknown. Original horror. Supernatural. So maybe if you watch this, maybe this is an audiobook or something. I don't know. It doesn't have anything here listed. Alright, this one, romantic comedy, plus-size nurse who loves to eat. Having no experience in life, she thought she's devoid of love until she meets a handsome man at a group date. Then the dude asks her out on a date. Oh, it could be wholesome. It's only 11 minutes per episode. I guess we'll see. I guess this is the other plus-size show of the season. That's funny. Isekai Legacy, nothing. Duration source, at least the genre. Card game. Oh, it's based off a card game. Okay. But nothing else. Okay, we can skip past that one. Let's just skip past these last two. Because we need to talk about Tensei. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Which, it's been a while. So, slime... Sorry, I got a little exhausted there. Okay. Slime is one of my favorite isekai. I think it has one of my favorite subgenres within the isekai genre, which is what I like to call the Kingdom Seed subgenre, which is about any main central protagonist or whatever building a kingdom or community in this fantasy world that he joins. And Slime is one of the first to start this Kingdom Seed trend in anime. Animation's always been peak. People have been criticizing the show a lot, because of how slow it is and how many meetings and planning there is. But you have to understand, Slime has never been about just, the action. It actually is really good at building and planning and, what goes into building, infrastructure and the streets and how to make people feel safe, and, inventing recipes and spreading them and, So there's a lot of things that I think people misconstrue with Slime. And I think this season is just more of what we love from Slime. So definitely check this one out. If you've seen the first 2 seasons, season 3 is actually really good. And it's very wholesome. I think that's what my favorite part about slime is. It's an isekai that's very wholesome, despite also having stakes and have a lot of intrigue behind it. Spice and Wolf second season have not, or second core I should say. I'm still trying to get through the first 2 episodes, but it's pretty good. I think it's a really great adaptation from I guess reboot from the first anime that dropped, because the first anime dropped I think in early 2000s. This is just more modernized and updated for the 2024 season. But yeah, no, it's pretty good. If you like the original, definitely check this one out. And if you want to see just a great fantasy story, yeah, check this one out. I think this has lots of potential. I would skip this one though. This one does not have potential. The Misfit of Demon King Academy 2 Part 2. I dropped it in Part 1 because it became way too complicated. The quality dipped heavily. And I don't know. I just fell out of love with this show because what was so great about it is that it was taking itself like too seriously, but in a way where it's like making fun of it, how serious it was, because it was over serious. Yeah, the second season kind of loses it by being too convoluted, even more than the first season, because the first one's already crazy enough as is. So my suggestion is, if you want to watch Misfit of Demon King Academy, you can probably watch the first season and you don't have to watch the rest. You can probably chill. It actually wraps up pretty nicely. Would not recommend the second season. Both Part 1 and Part 2. I think it just loses itself. Crayon Shin Chan, have seen this a lot. This has been a big anime since 1992. If you're a fan of this, watch this. If you aren't, maybe check this out. I've been seeing this guy a lot everywhere, so pretty big series. All right, this show, okay. Mission Yozakura family deserves more love. Why is no one talking about this show? This is literally like along the lines of Spy Family, and it has so much interesting things going on, especially with the second core going on, with just the there's like this huge overarching plot of who's behind the murders of his family in episode 1, and you're getting more of that. And action's fantastic, story fantastic, music great, love the characters, very unique. I don't know why people aren't talking about it. It's good. Please check this one out. It's being slept on completely, and I don't really say that to a lot of shows, but I really do mean it with this one. Please check it. If there's one underrated show of the season, it's Mission Yozakura Family. It is 100% slept on. Girls Love, Whisper Me a Love Song. It's continuing on from last season. I have my thoughts there. But yeah, this is a Yuri. Okay, this is a Yuri. This is Girls Love. This is GL. Yeah, definitely. If you want your Yuris and GL of the season, this is where you're going to find it. The Fable, I haven't seen, so I can't really speak too much about it. But I know it's an assassin. I know the production quality is not the greatest, so keep your eyes out for that. I did talk about this one too. This one is historical mythological. I talked about it in my last, I think, season review, so I won't really delve into the same with this one here. I guess all of these are just continuations, so I can really skip all of these. Is there anything over here? No. So it seems like I've gotten through everything then. Yeah, in the movies. I'll leave it at this, okay? We're going to talk about 2 movies here. The first one is Overlord: The Sacred Kingdom. And the reason why this is important is because it bridges the gap between like a couple episodes in season 3. Because that one episode in season 3, you learn that there's all these things, or sorry, season 4. There's all these things being taken place about this guy who's trying to kill over like Ainz, and he's plotting something. And then you skip a couple episodes and boom, they've already defeated him. He's dead, and now the kingdom's in panic because their ruler is dead. So crazy stuff. The movie's supposed to bridge that gap on how things turned out the way they did. So I'm excited. It's supposed to be airing September 20th. I don't know if that's the US release or not. but I've been an Overlord fan since watching the OG Isekai, and I'm talking Konosuba, ReZero, and Overlord. Those were the 3 I watched, and I'm a big fan of the Isekai quartet they did. This is just more fuel, more Overlord to what I love. We're gonna get definitely more music, which I love. The soundtrack for Overlord, I think it's great, and I love the characters because the characters are very morbid. They're basically horror movie characters because of what they do to some of these poor adventurers, especially in season 2. So season 4, although it did dip in quality for me personally, I hope the movie is up there and brings back people into the show, and hopefully that gives them enough ammo to, and more funds and more effort to put into season 5 when that comes out eventually. So I'm excited to see where Overload goes from here. It's gonna be very interesting. And last but not least, we have to talk about it. My Hero Academia, the movie for your next. Now, I know what we have to say about My Hero. I know Izuku has been going through a lot, especially in the manga, and in the anime, it's been dipping in quality. I do agree there. I am no longer really that big of a fan of My Hero recently. I've really been at my peak. The highest I've been in terms of excitement for My Hero has been in season 1 and 2. After that, it's just been a downhill. It's been just downhill from there, personally. But what I will give My Hero is they do nail their movies. I thought the second movie was great. The third movie, even better. And now this fourth movie, if they keep going on that track record where it's self-contained and it's just a great time all around, I think this is going to be a great time all around. So, yeah, I'm excited for this movie, despite me not liking the show as much anymore. So, yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Oops. Ooh, let's go to full webcam here. Perfect. All right, so that's pretty much it here. I just wanted to cover my thoughts on just all of the anime coming out this summer season. There is a lot that I'm excited for. There's plenty of isekai, plenty of romance, and hopefully we get a couple bangers that get season 2 by the end. Like I hope Suicide Squad actually ends well, and there's so much room to grow, because I feel like we're just like the tip of the iceberg here when it comes to the amount of potential that these fantasy shows have in terms of it becoming more unique and really changing the game and turning it on its head, especially with romance too. So yeah, overall great season to look forward to. Probably one of the best summer seasons to look forward to, especially because we have Fairy Tail coming back after 4 years. Yes, I'm not gonna stop talking about Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail, Fairy Tail, Fairy Tail. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And for everyone on YouTube, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think of your favorite picks of the season, or what you're looking forward to watch the season. And for everyone watching me on stream, or anyone wanting to watch me on stream, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Saorius. Same thing as my YouTube handle, so very simple there. You can watch me react to all these shows, and I think, or not all these shows, you can watch me react to Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest every Sunday, and me play Genshin Impact and Valorant and a couple other games as well. And it's going to be 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US, or 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in the US, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And sometimes I'll stream outside of that, like right now. So I have sort of a set schedule, and then I'll stream sometimes around that as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.